Amanda Knox is facing a life-changing question. Will she be forced to return to Italy? Remember, Italy's Supreme Court revived the murder case against Knox and her former lover. Back in 2007, they were convicted, then acquitted of killing Knox's roommate. Now, this latest twist raises all kinds of issues. So we've assembled our primetime power panel with the best experts in town, folks. We welcome Anna Yam, who's a prosecutor turned defense attorney, and Dan Gillian, who's a trial attorney. Both of you, welcome to Primetime.
Thanks for having us.
This is a hot topic right now in the news. I'm sorry, we always start with girls first. I apologize. Okay, Anna, start. What do you think about all this?
Let's talk about double jeopardy, okay? So Amanda Knox was originally convicted, right? So she's convicted in Italy with her boyfriend at the time. Then what happens, it gets appealed. The appellate court overturns the conviction and says, you know what, the DNA evidence was shoddy, the police investigation was shoddy, they contaminated so many pieces of evidence, there's no way that this should have sustained a conviction, okay? So then she gets freed after 4 years in prison. After that, Taylor, she ends up
And her boyfriend spent 4 years too, and he's an Italian citizen, I believe.
That is correct. Yeah. And she was sentenced to 26 years in prison. He was sentenced to 25. She comes home, is a student at the University of Washington. She's living her life. Finds out yesterday that, you know what, the Supreme Court in Italy is saying, no, you are going back to get retried. Right. And here in the United States, that would never have happened, because with our Fifth Amendment rights, you cannot be placed in jeopardy twice for the same crime.
I keep thinking O.J. Simpson when you say that.
Yeah. Well, that's a perfect example there, because if O.J. did it, then he belongs in prison, not out there, you know, in Nevada holding people up at gunpoint, and that's the whole problem. I mean, everyone talks about how our criminal justice system is so wonderful, there can't be double jeopardy. Well, guess what? A lot of people are going free that murder young, beautiful women like this.
From the police screwing up the evidence.
Yeah, so you should not, I mean, it's a double jeopardy. You know what? If the person's guilty and they killed somebody, you know, murder's forever, right? And so that murder conviction, if they get it, will follow her around for the rest of her life. And who knows? She might end up in Italy someday.
Amanda's
that's the assumption that she's guilty, though. There was a lot of evidence in there in that case that the appellate court said this should never have even sustained a conviction, right? So we're talking about a DNA on this alleged murder weapon that they said was contaminated. We're talking about a bra clasp that was found on the floor of Meredith Kircher's room. The police picked it up, put it back down, which is obviously 101 DNA test. You don't do that.
But they're in Italy. I mean, what do you want?
And this is the life we're talking about. We're
Amanda,
talking about
where were
her
you?
life.
Were you there at the scene? Yes. Oh, Amanda, were you there at the scene? No. She can't keep that straight. There's a problem there. And so she's got a big problem. There's plenty of evidence, obviously, that she did it. And they're not just going to say,
their prosecution truly believes she did it in Italy. They truly believe.
And if they truly believe it, is it also a matter of saving face? Because this was a huge melee of media and politics.
Good point, Andy.
You know, are we sitting here, are we really trying to convict her, or is it because we want to save face? Because we messed it up the first time around.
I think it has to do with a 20-year-old girl that died so brutally. That's what they're after, and they're not going to let it go. And so that's what they're doing.
And there's no dispute that her death was brutal, and obviously everyone sympathizes with her.
She was sexually abused as well.
Sexually abused. She was stabbed 40 times. There was a deep gash in her throat. No one is disputing that. It's a matter of who did it.
Did either the boyfriend or Amanda have a violent past?
No. No past whatsoever. And there was no motive. There was no motive for Amanda Knox to murder her roommate.
Well, here's the deal. Motive? This 25-year-old girl, whether she gets extradited or not, I mean, this is going to follow her forever. But legally, can they demand to have her be sent back to Italy?
They can demand it, but I don't think the United States is going to send her back, because it is so contradictory to our freedom of, our Bill of Rights. It says there can't be double jeopardy.
Right.
But that's why.
But the crime happened in Italy, so does our law take an effect?
Well, no, they're
going to take that into consideration. Yeah. They're going to look at our tenets of Dan's right of our U.S. Constitution and whether she was placed in jeopardy twice. And also, if I'm her defense attorney, I'm saying there's no way that you are going back there. You are not voluntarily going back there, and it's a very high unlikelihood that the United States would extradite her back to Italy.
So tell us what this looks like for her now, because she's going to have to go through all the drama again. Can you imagine I mean, she went through this nightmare situation, whether she did or not. It's still a nightmare situation. Now she has to relive that. What happens now?
And you're a mother, and Dan, you're a father. You know, as a parent, imagine if your child.
But if my child committed murder, she'd darn well go into prison.
And the whole issue is if, right? If they can prove it. Did she do that?
Well, she's got some problems, but I think that she dodged a major bullet, and right now she's not going to have to serve any time in prison, regardless of what happens in Italy, unless she makes a really bonehead move and goes back there. But I doubt that's going to happen. But the issue here is once again, our Constitution, our society is all founded on the idea that the individual is much more important than society as a whole. And time again, that's why double jeopardy is all is there. It's much more important apparently in the United States that a guilty person apparently go free than an innocent person go to jail. There's not a lot of societies don't think that. There's a lot of societies say, listen, our society, the collective is more important than individual. So if we get better evidence after you've been acquitted, and we come back and we find more evidence that shows you did it, then you did it, and we're going to come after you. And only in only places like America can you actually walk free and be a murderer.
That's why the presumption of innocence is so wonderful in our country, because you are innocent until you're proven guilty. And if the government can't prove it, and if they make horrible missteps, shoddy investigation, I mean, we're talking about the victim's life, but we're also talking about someone else's life. Can they prove it beyond a reasonable doubt?
But on what Dan was saying, there are guilty people who are let free because we all know one superstar in particular that it's kind of was a big. I'm not saying it, but we know it was a mess.
Right. So
it was a mess.
And I think that Dan raises a good point about the differences. There are differences between the Italian justice system and the criminal justice system here in the United States, and I think that's one of the things that will protect her from being extradited.
In closing, Anna, you brought up a good point. Is the Italian government trying to save face and keep their reputation?
Well, this is Supreme Court, so I don't really think that they're doing that. I think what it is they believe firmly in her case. She got convicted, and somehow she got off a second time, and they're saying, no, we're not letting a murderer go free this easily. This is Italy, and we don't have this double jeopardy rule, and we're going to make sure that our criminal justice system has a chance. There's a tie, 1-1.
Now it's going to
be the rubber match.
Well, I think you should go to Naples in Italy. That would change your mind. All right, thank you guys for the power panel. This story to be continued. We might have you back here.
Great,
but thank you both of you. All right. Thanks for watching Primetime.